Okay? We are in parsha Recieve, and we'll start off with Yor HaOrah. Okay, there you go. It says, Recieve, see, a command form. Recieve, Anochi noten lefechem hayom. See, I am giving before you today. And of course, our scroll, as you said, I present you today. Our scroll has decided that they want to edit the Torah. Very good. So, I'm giving to you today a bracha uklala, a blessing and a curse. Rashi simply says, what are we talking about here? Bracha uklala ha'amor b'har grizim, that which is going to be said at har grizim, on grizim, b'har eval, and which we won't see for another couple parshiot. Okay, so it's not going to, it won't be in this parsha that we hear the blessings or the curses per se. That's going to be much later. That's going to be, like I said, shoftim, kitese, kitavo. So about 4 parshiot away from now. Then it says, Eda bracha. Now the bracha is a shir shma'u, that you will listen to the command. In other words, the bracha comes if you listened. That's not a strange thing, because it says ashir, that you will. Okay, but really it's not. It's not. You have to, if you will listen, right? Our scroll is saying that you, but it's really if. It's an if. The bracha comes if you will listen to the commandments of Hashem your God, Asher Anochi Mitzavechem Hayom, that I am commanding to you today. Remember, he is talking to them. Moshe is giving the lecture, so he's speaking, which is why it's all present tense. It's all participle in grammatical terms. It's not past. He's saying that. And then Rashi says Eda bracha. By the way, Eda bracha is just again getting into the grammar of the sentence. It's an indirect. It's a direct object. You don't start a sentence with a direct object. Okay, and so Rashi says, what does it mean Eda bracha? So he says al menat. The bracha is given on condition that you listen. So he doesn't. Rashi also doesn't want to see the ashiras if. Without Rashi, you would have said, Eda bracha, the bracha, ashir shmuel, that you will listen, but it's impossible to say that. You have to say if. So Rashi does, he says, the bracha, on condition that you, in order to get the word ashir, he puts in 2 words, al manat, on condition.
Yeah, so it's what if means, right?
Right. He's saying there's a word missing here. I have a word missing. So let's understand what it means. The bracha comes on condition that you will listen to the commandments that I command today. V'klala, and the same thing with the klala, the same thing with the curse. Im lo tishma'u. Now here it's im lo tishma'u, not ashir. You hear what I'm saying? The first one, the bracha, was ashir. Like, you will definitely do this. Right? Definitely. How can you not follow what I'm going to say? The klala comes, the curse comes, im lo tishma'u al misvot Hashem lokeichem. If you do not listen, if you will not listen to the commandments of Hashem your Lord, v'sartem, and not only that, by the way, v'sartem min haderech, and you will turn from the way. Asher anochi mitzvechem hayom, that I am commanding you today. And what does that mean? Lalechet acharei Elohim acherim, to go after other gods, asher lo yadatem, that you did not know. Not don't know, but did not know. Also an interesting thing. So Rashi says, what's going on here? Min haderech asher anochi mitzvechem hayom lalechet, from the way that I am commanding you to go today. Ha'lemadato, so it comes to teach you. Shekol ha'oved avodah zarah. Anyone who serves avodah zarah, idols, Harei husar mikol haderech sh'stavol Yisrael. Behold, he's turned away from the whole way that the Jews were commanded. Mikan amru, so from here they say, hamodeh ba'avodah zarah, one who acknowledges idols, kofir b'kol Torah kula. It's as if that person denies the entire Torah. So can you imagine, and this is something that we have today, you have a person who will put on tefillin, you have a person who will keep Shabbat, you will have a person who will for all intent and purposes, look like a religious Jew, lo and behold, the person doesn't believe in Torah, doesn't acknowledge God, says God doesn't exist. He'll pray to some other idol. We had a person here who did that, that's what I'm picking on. Okay? Did everything perfectly. When he loses the argument, he says, I believe in Jesus. Okay? That's what it was. Now, whether or not he was serious is an irrelevant point to me. Okay? I may have just one way to get out of the case. But you have a case where this guy knew how to, this guy was amazing. He could look at a Gemara, he could translate the Gemara, okay, and ask questions on it, good questions, ask questions on the Torah, knew the stuff pretty well. Like I said, he chuckled the right way, he shook his fist at the right time, everything was right. And then when he didn't like when I answered him, I believe in Jesus, walked up. So for that guy, that's what we're talking about. You could look from all you want. You could be as religiously active, if you will, as you will. But if you deny Hashem, everything is for naught. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't get reward for putting a tefillin, because if you see that, I'll give an example. Balak, when Balak gave all those korbanot to Hashem, and he only did it so that Hashem would curse the Jews. He was into Bilam. Yet, as a result of those many korbanot that he gave, he was rewarded years down the line to have Ruth HaMoaviyah come from him. So that's something that's very, I don't want to.
He's doing it for the wrong reason.
Sorry, yeah? He was definitely doing it for the wrong reason. And yet Hashem rewarded him, because Hashem doesn't hold back anybody's reward. But what we're saying here, and it's an amazing statement, that if I acknowledge Avodah Zarah, and for Jews, yes, Jesus would be Avodah Zarah. Yeah. For Christians, it's not. I'm not arguing Christians. I'm saying for Jews. Okay, for a Jew to acknowledge something that is other than God as a force to be reckoned with, so it's as if he denies the whole Torah. It's an amazing statement.
So does he get some kind of reward for tefillin?
He will. He will get something.
Interesting.
Yeah, he'll get something. Again, Hashem pays you for whatever you do. But let's understand something. According to all the hashkafa that's out there that I've seen, maybe there's somebody who says no to this, I don't know. But from what I've seen is Hashem, Talmud Devorah will say, actually Hashem is exactly what the Talmud Devorah says. If a person denies, a Talmud Chacham would deny one letter of Torah, is kofra Torah kula. It's as if he was rejected the whole Torah, just like we're saying here, and that person will be punished until he does teshuvah. But what we have to understand is he will also be rewarded for what he did correctly, and he'll be punished for what he did incorrectly. But that's for everybody. So Hashem pays us up at the end. The question is, what's pushing us over to the other side, if anything. Okay. But I'm just saying, it's amazing that when it comes to Avodah Zarah, and that's what's going on here, if I turn from the way that God commanded us to go after these other gods that you didn't know. You didn't even know these gods. They weren't there before. It's not like you had a tradition. I remember Avraham Avinu, he liked one certain guy, one certain god, and he was, or whatever. It's not, you don't even have those things. You didn't know them. They're the newfangled gods that are coming out. Pokemon Go. Okay? Everybody's running to the streets. That's what everybody's telling me. They're on the Darwinian way to get rid of people. But okay, you have these things. And so you have to be careful. And that's why he's saying don't run after them. Okay, so that's number one. Now we continue to go on. It says, Vayal kiviyach el Hashem, elokech el ha'aretz. It will be when Hashem, your God, will bring you to the land, asher atah ba shemal rishta, that you are coming there to inherit.
What pasuk you on?
That's pasuk Chavtet, 29. V'natata et bracha al Har Gerizim, you will give the bracha on Har Gerizim, on Mount Gerizim. V'yad klala, and the klala al Har Eval, and the klala, the curses, you'll get in Har Eval. So Rashi explains what's going to happen. Al har grizim, kalfe har grizim, hovchem pneim patchu beracha. They're going to turn towards har grizim, and they're going to open with a bracha. Baruch ha'ish shelo yaseh pesach mesecha. Blessed is the one who does not make idols. V'chol ha'arorim sheber parsha amru techila. And he also, so that's one thing. They're going to turn. In other words, you're going to be on Har Grizim. You have two mountains that are facing each other, Har Grizim and Har Eval. If you go to Hirsch, again, this would be more for Parsha Kitavo. We're talking about this, but if you go to Hirsch, he'll say that Har Grizim was a very fertile green mountain, as compared to Har Eva, which is rocky, craggy, there's nothing growing there. So it makes sense that you're going to go to Har Grizim and give the brachot. You're going to turn that way, and you're going to turn towards the barren place and give the curses. The curses are going to be the exact, the inverse of the brachot.
Is the name Gerizim related to the word ger? Or do we know?
I never heard that.
No, I'm just.
No, it would, if anything, it'd be Gerez.
Zion wouldn't be.
Say that again?
Zion, letter Zion wouldn't be.
I never heard that.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's anything could happen in the world of breaking words up. Let me see if anybody comments very quickly. The one that would do it, he's not working this. Oh, Balator. No.
But his names always mean something, right?
Right. So Gerez, I believe, means actually. I want to say it means cut, but I'm not sure. I know it. I'm pretty sure Gerez means something, but I'm not sure what it means. Yeah, but you're right. They all do mean something. You have to look at it, and but nobody's here. Okay. Again, Hirsch would probably look at the word Gerizim. He does look at the word Gerizim. I just forget what he said. Okay. He looks like he likes words. Yeah. He's very much into etymology, and you can learn a lot from that, as to why the people named it what they named it. Remember, we named something for a reason. Mount Olympus, Mount whatever it's going to be. Yeah. But we named them for some reason.
Like Adam and Rishon named the animals.
He named the animals because
after their traits or something, right?
Because of the spiritual essence. He could see the spiritual essence of the animal, so that's what the Chazal say, and he named the animal accordingly, according to their spiritual emanation. We don't see that, and to argue that the people saw a landmass and they could see the spiritual emanation coming out of that, I would greatly question that. What Horah was it? Horah, but I was going for actually Mar HaMachpelah. What is Mar HaMachpelah? It's a double cave. So there's either one on top of the other or something like that. Rashi gives a couple of different explanations for what was possible. He never went to Israel, as far as I know, so he's going just by what the Gemara is going by. The question would be, if we would have seen Mar HaMachpelah when it was really Mar HaMachpelah, unlike today, where we've gone through land mass changes because of various Romans and Greeks and everybody destroying things. So we would have seen what they were seeing, and then you would say, oh, it's either a double mountain or it's a cave inside a cave. Rashi gives you two options there. So you did have places where, or Mar HaMachpelah is also named for the 4 people who were buried there, or the 4 families who were buried there: Adam and Chava, Avram and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and Leah and Yaakov and what's his name's head rolled in? Esav's head rolled in. Okay, so but that's all he gets, and that's all is buried there. So I never was Zaychav as a Kohen. I can't do a lot of things, but when I went to Eretz Yisrael, I couldn't go into any of these kavarot that they have. But it would have been interesting to see what they have as kever avot. Do you ever go?
They don't show you.
They don't show you. Okay.
Because there's a passageway leading down and it's gated off. You can't go.
Okay.
What about like we went to Kever Rachel, but that's
in
kind of
Beit Lechem.
Huh?
In Beit Lechem.
Yeah, and you have like it's like a like a big dome thing on. As you have a building, then you got like a big dome thing over the actual grave. And would that not shield you or not? It's still
I wouldn't get to the grave.
inside of the building where the dome thing is over the actual grave.
I don't think you can go inside the building.
I'm not sure what is a dome thing.
It
There's
doesn't
a
look like
cap over the actual gravesite.
It was covered.
Oh,
with
really?
curtains and
There's
everything.
Oh.
a big half circle.
Oh,
cylinder.
wait, how much space is there? Is like this much space?
It's wider across than the table. I mean, it's like.
Oh, that much space?
It's about a person tall, and it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you could walk.
It's its own thing.
Oh,
But
no.
I think it's on top of the grave itself. So the grave is in the building.
No, but if the
capstone's on top.
yeah, but what happens is tumor just rises up straight.
Yeah.
So if something traps a tumor, then a Kohen can walk in.
Right. But
So
it's,
at
not,
the
it's not anything you can go on top of or around. It's a piece of rock. That's
Oh
on
yeah,
top
you
of the
can't
grave
walk in.
itself.
Oh, it's a rock. No, that a rock you can't do.
It's
If
not
it was hollow, if it
If
was
it's not
hollow.
It's just a piece
Oh no,
of
then you
marble.
can't do it. No, I thought you said a
The
hollow.
grave itself is inside the building, so it's
Yeah,
you
no,
can't-
no, but if there'd be something hollow on top of that, first of all, there'll be another problem. You don't know where the grave is.
Oh, so you'd say maybe that's not a
Yeah, so you wouldn't walk in, right? So you would never walk in. But in the case, again, practical halacha would be if I have if I want to perform a funeral, which no thank you, okay, I put that out there, I'm not really interested. But when I had to perform funerals, and so what they would do is we made a box that went over.
yeah.
I told you this. That went over the kever. That went over the mate.
That was before the burial.
Yeah, well, I couldn't get to the cemetery. Forget it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now you're on your
walk
own.
Inside here.
I can do a lot of things, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I met a rabbi who Reconstructionist rabbi. I never knew the guy. I mean, I knew him. I didn't know he was a Kohen. Didn't know he was a Kohen. And so he was performing a funeral, and he happened to be doing it on my shul cemetery. So okay, fine. So he saw that I was standing outside the fence because I want to show my I had grief for the family too. I want to show my support. And the conservative rabbi, who wasn't a Kohen, stood with me.
Oh.
And so he looked and he said, and after the whole funeral, he said, "Why are you standing outside?" I said, "Well, I'm a Kohen, that's why I didn't do it. Him, he's just doing it to support me." He said, so the rabbi says, "I'm a Kohen, but I gave it up." I figured it's more important to worry about people. Okay, I can't do much about that. But again, by the way, he was called for Be'ikar. He didn't believe in Torah, Sinai period. So it's he may fall into this category of actually Reconstructionists do. They don't believe in God in the way we believe in God. But it's an amazing thing. Okay, but you find all different types of people. So again, we come back. So that's what's going on. So he goes there, and then it says, "Hello, Hema." We're on Lamed. Okay, so it says, "Hello, Hema," and this is an interesting thing too. We told you, we're telling, Moshe is telling the people, Har Grizim and Har Eva. Then he says, "Hello, Hema be'ivrit," and surely they, or are they not, across the Jordan, Achrei Dechem V'Or Shemesh, in the direction of the sunset, Be'eretz Kanani, in the land of Canaan, Hayoshe Ba'arava, in the that dwells in the plain, Mula Gilgal, opposite the Gilgal, Eitzel Elonei Moreh, near Elon, the plains of Moreh. Why are you telling people directions here? What are you, MapQuest? I mean, really? Yeshua knows where they have to go. If not, so they have a pillar leading them. What? God will give you directions yourself. Why are you going through so many, such a direction here? You hear the question I'm asking? Yeah? No, you don't have to say that. You just said, Har Grizim, Har Eva, leave me alone. So Rashi says, "Hello, Hema, are they not? Natam behem siman." He gave them a sign. That's all he's saying. Gave them a sign. After you cross the Jordan, Lot, and you're going further on, he says. So that's Lashon, that's why it says after. And then it says, Derek Moa Shemesh, Lahala min Amidbar, Lisad Mariv, from the Jordan on the western side. The Tama Mikra, and the reason, I'm sorry, not the Mikra, the trope of the pasuk proves two things. One, Shektu B'Shnei Ta'amim, that it has two notes. Acharei, and they're called pashta. The acharei, if you look under acharei, the word acharei mevo shemesh. So acharei has a pashta, and then derech is a mishpal, which is dagush. Okay, so that is what we call yativ. It separates the two. If it was after the way, then it would have been one thing. So acharei would have been with a misharet. It would have been with a server. Okay, now he's giving you. It's not so often that Rashi gets involved with trope. Okay, but he's telling you the difference here is if you want to say acharei derech vavo hashemesh, so acharei would have had a derech would have had a munach, the little, like it's under the mem of mavo, would have had that. That's misharei. That keeps going. But the fact that it has a stop sign under derech, in other words, acharei is stop, derech is stop. It separates the two words. Those are major stops. He's telling you it's two different places. That's why it's going on. It's like I said, it's an interesting that he's trying to get across there. Okay, then what else do I want to say about that? Wait, where was it? That's the wrong one. Okay, we'll have to go on. I don't see what I'm looking for. So, 31. So it says, Ki atem ovrim el Yarden, because you are crossing the Jordan, not will. You are crossing the Jordan. Lavol, the rest of the arts, to come to inherit the land, or it could be to go to inherit the land. Either one, you could go either way with that. Asher Hashem lokeichem noten lechem, that Hashem, your God, is giving to you. V'rishtem otah, you will inherit, and you will inherit it. V'yishavtem ba, and you will live there. So what's going on here? It says, Ki atem ovrim el Yarden, you will pass over the Jordan. Who's not passing? Sorry?
This is Moshe speaking to the children of Israel,
right? Right, Moshe is speaking to the children of Israel, yes.
So Moshe is not.
Correct. That's right. That's good. He says, and Nisim, now he also says, Nisim shall Yarden you simon biyadchem shetavo shel arts. The miracles of the Jordan will be a sign that is in your hands, that sign in your hands that you will go and inherit the land. What's going to happen to the Jordan River? Not split.
Or just
It's going to stop on one side. The other side will dry up, and people will be able to walk through on dry land. That's going to come down. And then they're going to have the stones. They're going to put them down. Again, back to the story of Joshua. So he says, you're going to have a lot of miracles that are going on that are going to show you that you were meant to go and inherit the land. Okay? And then it says, Ushmartem lasot. Now here again we have to hear this. You will and you should observe to do. That's also interesting. You should observe, you should keep to do. Why would you use a double language? On top of that, what is ushmartem shmora? What is the word guard usually referred to? Anybody? What kind of commandments does it normally refer to? Say it again? Right, a negative command. What is la'asot? Usually asay, positive commandment. Okay? Ushmartem, and you should guard to do. So you should guard the negative commandments, not to do it, and la'asot, positive to do it. And kol achukim, and he picks on the chukim first. All of the statutes. What's a chok?
The one that we don't understand what it means.
The one we don't understand, there's no reason given. We're not even, according to Rashi, we shouldn't even have here or after them. We shouldn't even wonder about what they are, why God gave them. Not that anybody listened to Rashi. The Rambam didn't listen. The Ramban didn't listen. Rav Saadia Gaon didn't listen. Nobody listened to that. But because everybody gave their reasons. Minchas Chinuch, nobody said anything. But when it comes to that, he says we're not allowed to be here or to wonder why did Hashem say I can't have meat, wool and linen? Why can't I have what's with the paraduma today? Why are all these things? Why are you torturing me? Why can't I do some things? God says no. Chukim, you have to guard to keep my chukim. And then after you do that, if you can do that, by the way, if I can keep those what we call ridiculous ones there's no reasons, then when it comes to mishpatim, that's easy. I understand why those are given. By the way, the interesting, beautiful thing about the chukim, which I forget who says already, I believe it's the Ramban, but I'm not 100% sure. He said the chukim obviously have reasons. God knew what he was doing. We don't know what God was doing. But at times, because of we grow with knowledge, sometimes the chukim become understandable. And then people, and we've been following them all along, so people look at us and say, they're brilliant. How do they know to do X, Y, and Z? That obviously is from their Torah. Their Torah, Hashem is brilliant. Hashem knew what he was doing, as it were. They're going to come to recognize that our chachma, our wisdom, was not in following that which we understood, because that's simple, but it's following that which we didn't understand, relying upon God. And they said, for that, they're truly a blessed people. I believe the Ramban says that. It's an amazing statement that we'll have to learn. He doesn't say it here, it says before, but it's something that we have to really think about when we have all these chukim that we have, and we just follow them. And now we do it, and well, one day maybe we'll understand. Who knows? People will come up with different things. Okay, and then he says, Asher Anochi noten lechem hayom, that I am giving to you today. Again, it's all the present tense. Okay, so then it says, let's go on further. Ela chukim v'mishpatim. These are the statutes, and these are the judgments. Asher tishmeru la'asot, that you shall guard to do. Ba'aretz, in the land. Asher natan Hashem. Now that's the big pointer. In the land. There's a whole question. Do we have to follow them outside of the land? It's a whole machlokes here. Yeah, well, obviously we do. Okay, obviously we do. But there's a whole question is, are we getting the same credit in the land as outside of the land? When I'm living outside, I have to do all these kosher and everything else. I can't do certain things. I can't give truma. I can't give meiser. I'm talking about meiser when it comes to crops, not meiser ksaf, not 10% of what we earn. But all these things that we have, are we really getting full credit? It's an interesting question that we have.
This pasuk isn't referring to what we're about to say next. It doesn't. It's not. I thought
Oh, they are. They are.
It's
They
saying
are.
when you're in the land, namely these things we're about to say.
Right. But what I'm saying is, that's also, we get into this whole argument of these mitzvot applying outside the land. That's also, because it's ba'aretz.
Yeah.
Asher natan Hashem, Elokei avatecha lach l'rishta, that Hashem gave to you. And by the way, it's not giving to you, it's now Hashem gave to you. Hashem, the Lord of your fathers, gave to you to inherit, because the land has always been promised to us. All the days that you are living on the ground. Abeid to abdun. You shall surely destroy all of the places, asher avdu sham hagoyim, that the place where the goyim, the nations, served there, asher atem yoshim otam elayim, that you are inheriting them, that I want to say is, that you are inheriting them. And their gods, al harim, haramim al gvaot, on the high mountains and on the hills, p'tacha kol eitz ra'anan, and under all their leafy tree. Okay, that's what he says it. So the first thing is, let's just, if you look at the Ashkel, it says the sanctity of the land. The commandments given in this passage have particular relevance to Eretz Yisrael, either because they refer to the removal of every vestige of idolatry from the land, or because they refer to the commandments that are performed there exclusively or primarily. Like I said, there's an argument about that. As a result, when we do things outside the land, Rashi says, why do we, Rashi, the Ramban again, everybody's saying it, why do we keep the mitzvot outside of the land? So that when we come back into the land, they're not something new to us. It's an amazing thing. In other words, when you go back home, you have to know how to act. But when you're out here, okay, so do we get credit? Yeah. I'm not going to argue credits. I'm not looking at reward and punishment. But what you have to understand is that this is not where we should be. This is not the end all and be all. And just because we have all these yeshivot here doesn't mean that we shouldn't be striving to, at least spiritually, to want to be back home. Okay. So Rashi says, Abeid Abdun, Abeid, destroy. He says, V'archakach, and after Ta'abdun, you shall surely uproot. It's a double language, by the way. We learned this, it's a emphasis. But Rashi is going very nicely. It's destroyed, and afterwards you will destroy it. We can. So there, from here, we see that we have to uproot idolatry, which means you have to go after it. In other words, this is also something interesting. You would think that if you have an avodah zarah, some idol, smash it and it's done. Okay, the answer is no. Abeid, destroy it, and then uproot the very foundation of it. Now, I don't know how you're really going to do that. May it be through education or whatever else you're going to do. But there's a command here to uproot the whole thing. Now, you could be uprooted from ourselves too. Because what always happens, and we find this later on, we sometimes look and see, wait, these people worship something. Well, how do they do it? What do they do? Anthropology. How do they do it? Let's figure this out. And then some people say, well, in order to understand it, I have to try it. And they get caught into it. So you really, that's why it's Abeid to Abdun. And then all the places, so Rashi says, Umay to Abdun mehem, Elohim, what should you destroy from them? Their gods that are on the hills. In other words, don't destroy the hills. You don't have to levy a hill. You don't have to level a hill. There's a famous Mishnah in Sanhedrin. It said, wait a second, it says you have to destroy everything. So why didn't we have the sun, the moon, the stars? They were worshipping everything. Why doesn't God just destroy that? If he's so angry, then destroy that. So the Mishnah answers, because if God would destroy every place that people worship to, there'd be nothing left. So you can't. So we have an obligation not to destroy the hill, but to destroy the thing on the hill that people are praying to, showing no deference to them whatsoever. We did fail that miserably every time. Yeah.
You're saying destroy stuff on the hill and not the hill itself.
Correct.
The first thing that came to my mind was the Romans leveling the temple hill, the hill that the temple was on. So they actually did that.
They leveled it because the Romans leveled the hill because they wanted to wipe out all vestige of Judaism, much as like the Palestinians want to do today. They want to wipe everything out, so they're digging, hopefully to get rid of it, to say that our claim is not a claim. The Romans did it because they wanted to squelch the rebellion against the Jews. The Palestinians are doing it because we're not doing what we should be doing. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, they'd have no power. Okay. And yes, I said that. On forever. No, somebody will disagree with me, don't worry.
This is probably where the Taliban, when they took over Afghanistan, they blew up the main tourist attraction of the country. Was the giant Buddha carved in the side of the mountain. But would be the reason. Huh?
I don't. I'm not going to argue for them because I don't know what their books say. So I'm not sure if their books say you have to uproot all idols, and is Buddha an idol? That's another question.
Well, everything they said they would take from the Torah, whether it was
again
at their time or not, it would twist it otherwise. You know.
Since I never read their book, I'm not going to give terrorists
Credit for doing
credit
something.
for something that they may not have
I
done.
assume that's
They probably were told by someone they should do it, so they did it. They want to make a noise.
To them, it's still an idol. Even though
But let's face it, the Torah says to us, we have to uproot things, right? When's the last time we uprooted anything?
Well, yeah, so this was only applicable back then, right? I mean, what we're talking about.
No, the Torah is always applicable.
But we don't take this today
Correct,
and
correct.
go to some other country and do this.
Correct. First of all, we're not supposed to go to other countries. We're only supposed to do it in our own yard.
Right. Yep.
So I'll give you an example. When I was living in Providence, there was a house for sale. And the house had some sort of getchka in the front yard. What's a getchka, you ask me, right? You know what a getchka is? Good enough. So you have one of them. It could be Virgin Mary. Who knows who it was? I don't know who it was anymore. And one of the people were looking to buy a house. One of the Jewish community. So what she did was, when she went to look at the house, she leaned on it to try to see, can it be pushed out or not? Is it in? And no, she found out, no, it's sunk in the ground.
See, the people were going to leave it with the house.
Yeah, they weren't going to pick it up. They saw it was sunk in the ground.
Get the dynamite.
No. So she said, and she found out how much it would cost to remove it.
Whoa.
She said, forget it, I'm not interested. But that would be one of the examples where you're not allowed to have that, obviously. So you have to get rid of it.
It would become your piece of property.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to own it. So at that point, we would have to level it or do what we have to do.
Wow.
We call the church in, tell them to take it away. Who cares? But
I have a present for you, right?
Right. As long as you dig it up, otherwise it gets destroyed. Say it again?
Buy the house.
Buy condition gets removed, whatever you want. The person was dead. The person didn't care anymore. and the Gushka didn't save him. But it's that's what you would say in that situation where we have to uproot it.
Yeah.
So you have to get rid of it on your land. But if it's not my land, so as we're always in other countries, we're not going to start uprooting, and that's why we are very hands off. I'm not going to go into your church. I'm not going to play your games, but I'm not going to blow them up either. And if I go into another country, it's not my obligation to blow your places up. It's just not right.
Yep.
You can do what you want, and God bless you. But these people are they're terrorists. I'm not going to blame their religion. I'm not going to blame Islam for this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they should be blamed. I don't know. But I think it's more the people who are just going in with their mishigas and saying we have to make noise. But like I said, I would never want a Jewish person to go in and to destroy a church or something. It's crazy. Or a mosque or any one of these places. Even the Makom Avodah Zarah. It's not right. It's not our land. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Eretz Yisrael, because it's still Galut, would also fall into that category. In other words, even though we have people there, and it's Reish Smicha Ku'ulatenu, even according to that opinion, it's still not our land. It's still under the auspices of the Galut.
Wow.
So to argue that we should even clear that out, I would have a big problem with that. Again, I'm not politically correct with what I'm saying on either side of the fence, but it's just not proper. So you have to put up with everything, and like I said, and I'll say it 1,000 times more, we have to do tshuva. We have to say to God, "You're right." And this means all Jews, not just the people in the Midrash Torah Center. Every Jew has to say, "Hashem, you're large in charge. We accept you. We love you. We apologize for all the years that we've been doing this wrong, and we fall upon the mercy of the court. And please bring us home." At that point, God will take us home. And until then, not going to happen. And when we get to Israel, we have to follow the Torah and not do what everybody's doing and try to get the what's it called, public, the press. What's it called? Social, yeah. But I want more. When the press makes, I don't want press releases. I don't want to be. I'm not interested in what the press has to say. Let's just do what we have to do. Follow the Torah. And again, I'm not saying that we have to kill people and all that. I'm not saying we should kill anybody. If Hashem would come down and tell us we have to wipe out people, then like he did to Yehoshua, we have no choice. First, by the way, we'd have to find somebody like Yehoshua. Yeah. I'm not going to follow some Michiganer who said, "The Lord spoketh to me." Leave me alone. Yes, all the speak. They like to speak English, the old English. I'm not interested. You become a recognized Navi, and you show me what you can do, and you bring me like Mashiach, you follow the Rambam. Right. Like that, I have no problem. At that point, you have to do what you have to do. But until then, it's not happening. I wouldn't listen to him at all.
Let Mashiach come first, and then we'll...
No, I'm saying if Mashiach comes, he has to do a lot of stuff before he can say we have to wipe out people. Okay? And at that point, by the way, since everybody would recognize who God is, we wouldn't be wiping out anybody. That all do tshuva. It's all done. So, again, we'll never have this problem. This is a one-time event, if you will, and like I said, we've gone past it. There's not going to be a time that I know of that we have to do this again. And again, when we had the commandment, we never did it. So call stiff neck. Who cares? We never did it. Yeah. That's why we were kicked out later on, because we had those idolaters around us. Okay, so let's go on. Then that was... Wait. Okay. When he touched him, now here again, we're going for the destruction. Everybody look at this and say, how horrible you could have been. But okay. When he touched him, you should uproot their altars. An altar, Rashi will tell you, is a thing of many stones. And those has a lot of different stones put together, as opposed to Vishibartim et Matzevatam, break their Matzeva, which is one stone, and that was like a bima that they would stand on. Okay, two different types of altars that they had. V'ashereham tishrafum ve'esh. There are Asherah trees you should burn with fire. They used to worship this tree. Don't ask me why. I don't get into it. I told you to know what's going on in their minds. And Uvsilei Eloheim degadeon. And again, the idols of their gods you shall like a smash or something, cut down. Okay. V'ibadatem et shemam, and you will cause their name to perish min makomahu, from that place. So what does it say? Rashi says, what does it mean to cause their name to perish? Lichnot lehem shem genai. You should give you should use insulting terms for their gods. Okay? So you change the names, and so the people will know that you're mocking them. They're nothing real. By the way, I was asked the question, does the Torah anywhere say that we have to go out of our way to insult their foreign gods? Yes, so you would have it right here. This is the verse. So it's not, again, which is why for many times Jews would say Xmas, because they thought that was not saying Christmas, not showing respect to that holiday. But little did they know that Xmas was created by the religious Christian who didn't want to say Christmas. Showing respect for the name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's just the opposite. It's like us saying Hashem.
I found it somewhere online. There's a whole thing about the Greek etymology with the letter X.
Yeah. So it's so funny when you hear religious Jews trying their best to fulfill the mitzvah. They say Xmas. Now they would say Croxmas and everything. Okay, fine. Yeah.
That was I forget what it is. The Christian thing. Don't take your Lord's name in vain.
Don't
take your Lord's name in vain. You can't say.
That's we said that.
Right, but you can't say Christ. You can't say whatever.
Well, they do.
No, I know, but back a while ago, they have like all these G willikers and.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All those like G's.
Right.
You can't say Jesus because that's his Lord name, right?
Right.
So they would make these.
Okay. Right. So they were covered up. Okay, fine. The truth is, I understand that, but I think it's just funny that when we think we're showing disrespect, as it were, we don't want to say the name, it becomes the most respectful way of saying it. You don't want to chas v'shalom use his name in vain. So it's very interesting. Right, you're showing reverence for the name.
There's atheists that don't know that either.
They should watch my tape. The atheists don't know, let them watch my tape. Okay. But but that's what's going on. So it says when you should destroy the name, that's why, again, we don't want to say the names of these gods, which is, when it comes to the Torah, it's interesting. We have Baal Peor, we have all these different names that we know. The question is, are they the real names, or are they already taken out?
Changed to
In other words, right. So if I would go to a person who was an worshiper of Baal Peor, would he be called Baal Peor? I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have to, is it under by death, those kind of things? Where
I'm sorry? Is it
insult him in a case of, what's it called? Can you go to not go to a mosque, but go to some Muslim settlement or some Muslim town and say, Muhammad was a pig and his prophet, his excrement.
Allah was a pig.
And his, yeah. Can you
can one do that? One can do it. Yeah, should one do it? I wouldn't. I would be careful. I would be very careful with that. But no, you wouldn't call him Allah.
No, but you shouldn't put yourself in danger over that.
No, obviously, okay. But you shouldn't do anything. I mean, I'm not into insult. First of all, let me put this out there too. I don't think anybody should be insulting anybody's religion. I think we should just be the best Jews that we can be, and they'll see who we are, and they'll want to emulate us. When we go out insulting people, all that does is show that we are very weak in our belief. That's all it does. And anything, by the way, if I insult you, it means I'm afraid of you. I think that you can influence me. I'm not at all afraid to be influenced by my Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or whatever guys, pagans that we have out there. I'm just not. I'm pretty secure in what I hold. So I can sit with them. I can talk with them. We can have a good time together. And that's it. Because I know that I'm not going to be influenced by them. If one doesn't know how they're going to react, one should not play those games, by the way. And that's why some Jews don't feel comfortable when witnesses will come to their door. Even though they can answer them, they don't feel comfortable because they don't know how to do this. I don't really care. And these days I really don't want to either because I don't want to waste my time. But I'm not uncomfortable. I will sit there. When I go to college, I can do it all day long. It doesn't bother me because I know the arguments and I know they're fallacious. But I don't have to tell them that. So I don't think we should be insulting anybody. Personally, I don't like to insult them. And I don't think anybody should get into that. Like I said, let's be secure in what we do. Let's learn our Torah. Let's learn it well. If they have a question, Dam Alasha the Epicurus. Know what to answer the Epicurus. Answer him. And then walk away. That's all. You don't have to get involved. Atheists, I don't care what they are. Know what to answer. By the way, all it means is, if you ask me a question, I answered you, it means I thought about your question. Which is all you can ask from me, right? Same thing for politics, same thing for everything. If I answered you in a rational manner, it means I thought about it. I may disagree with you, and tough luck. This is what I hold. Yeah.
Going on that train of thought, if you insult somebody and you are afraid that they can influence you or hurt you in any way, shape, or form, what is this?
Say it again, please.
If going on that train of thought, if you insult somebody, then you're afraid that they can influence you or hurt you in any way, shape, or form, then what is this?
This is saying, don't let their name be on your lips. In other words, amongst you.
Okay. So,
amongst you.
Right.
So what happens? You want to swear, and you say, JC Almighty. Something's going on. Okay? You're using it as a derogatory. By the way, if you listen to them outside, I'm not talking about Jews, I'm talking about non-Jews, the amount of swears that they can get with Jesus is unbelievable. When I was growing up, the worse it was, the harder they yelled that name. Okay, so I never got that. It was something I never quite understood, and into this very day, I don't get it. But what the Torah is saying is, you should destroy the names from that place. In other words, it shouldn't be on our minds. Because what's going to happen is, we are going to wonder, as it says later on, we will wonder why they did this, what was behind it. Because we always want to say that people are logical. We want to believe that everybody is logical like us. And there must be something there. So if there's something there, let's figure it out. And we give, there's the side of merit. That's the problem. So that's why he says, destroy the names. Let's forget the names. Okay?
So then why use derogatory terms? Why just not use the name at all? Why?
Well, you have to identify the place. In this place, Rashi says, Beit Galia, so you call it Beit Karia. It's a different, instead of the hill, something else. You're identifying the place, like Baal Peor. We're identifying the idolatry, but we're not using the real place. That's all. That would be the reason. We're not afraid of being, although we are actually. Again, you are being afraid of being influenced here. In these days, they would have been influenced.
Right.
And they were influenced. They were. So that's when you insult. I'm saying it's not right. I'm saying it's not right. I wouldn't, if today it's not worthwhile doing that.
Right.
I don't think it is. Again, if we're strong in our resolve of who we are, we don't need to revert to that. Revert is the right word? Revert to that. That's what I'm saying. Just putting that out there for the world of the internet. We shouldn't be insulting everybody. We should just be the best people we can be. And again, people will look to us, and either they'll like what we're doing or they don't. If they don't, again, keep going with what you're doing, and hopefully you won't bother me for it either. You won't come to my door and knock again and say, I'm wrong. Okay, we'll have to stop here.